We're grateful for who God is. That list of names given, holy and mighty and all of that, that's just the beginning of things. When Jesus was jousting with the Pharisees, Jesus made it clear to them that when you start talking about me, you're talking about something that surpasses Abraham. Because before Abraham was, he said, my name is I am. In other words, when you open up the book to look at all of the good things that a person can possibly be mighty and triumphant and awesome and holy, he says that that's just the beginning of it. He had to close the book.
Who am I, America? I am Kendrick Tate, and I got a story to tell you. Born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee, had amazing parents who brought me up the right way, had amazing parents and that taught me wrong from right. I had brothers and sisters that taught me how to be positive and how to be respectful. I even had brothers and sisters in the community that also taught me wrong from right. But the story is that I was tempted to be something that the world often sees us as, and that's criminals. You know, the world sees Black men as a threat, but I was able to overcome all of that. And this story is for the brothers and sisters who don't think there is an out, who don't think that there's only one way out of the hood, so to speak. This is for you. My story is, through all the temptation, through all the obstacles that was put in front of me, I was able to maintain. And I'm happy to say that, you know, I had three brothers and three sisters. And I'm proud to say, like, none of us was never incarcerated. None of us got involved in the system, neither in juvenile nor in the adult system. So my story is, I overcame. And I'm gonna tell you how I overcame. I was able to put my priorities ahead of my needs, so to speak, or my desires, those temptations or whatever. And it was not easy. Let me tell you, it was not easy. But see, I grew up in a time where the OGs was a little different. And I grew up in a predominantly Black neighborhood. We wasn't dirt poor. We had things or whatever, but I knew my mom and dad, like, they scrapped and they scraped for everything, and nothing was given to them. You know, everything that they worked for, they earned, and they passed that on down to us, and which made me kind of respect and appreciate everything that we had, because we never went without. And that's one thing I can say about my parents, who are now dead and gone. Lost my dad when I was 12, lost my mother about 4 years ago on Christmas Eve. She just passed, so still dealing with that grief. But I said all of that to say this: I still made it, right? Because I wanted to make them proud. And going back to the OGs back during my time, because there was a lot going on. I lost cousins to drive-bys. I lost good friends to drive-bys. And not too far from the crib, there was a spot that everybody, there was a project that everybody wanted to go, right? And my sister lived in that project. So I would often hang around those projects and whatnot, you know, during my downtime or whatever. And the crazy part about it is, when things were about to get hot or blow up, the OGs that knew me told me, "Hey, KT," that's what they call me back back in my young days, or they call me Ken Tate, whichever one preferred. My real name is Kendrick Tate, like I said before, but that's another story for another day. But they would tell me, "Hey, young buck, hey man, you got to bounce. And I'm just like, what? Nah, I want to hang. Nah, man, because we see something in you that you don't even see yourself. So they wouldn't even let me hang out, which was crazy, and and the OGs back during those times, we talking about the 80s and the 90s. So they would like threaten you, like, man, look, if you don't go home, you know what's about to happen. So look, I always been a lover and never a fighter. So I look, at a young age, I clearly understood what that meant. And it was cool because I respected that, because when it came to sports and whatnot, it was all good. We could hang, we could kick it, and we could do our thing and we have fun or whatever. But the moment things in the neighborhood and the streets got a little weird or was about to get suspect and dangerous, hey, they made sure that they took care of me. And a lot of those OGs today, if they're not dead, they are sitting in prison right now, or they are currently like having bad effects, health wise, from the very drugs that they were selling. So, man, I have to give a shout out to all the OGs who helped keep me out of trouble, because my story wouldn't be my story if they hadn't intervened on my behalf. And I grew up, like I said, in a predominantly Black neighborhood, went to a predominantly Black school, elementary school. And then I got my first taste of like kind of like America is when I went to middle school. I went to Bearden Middle School. It's a diverse middle school. And so I got to meet all ethnicities. I got to meet all different kind of races. I got to meet all kind of different teachers and people. So then I began to, evolve kind of like as a person and see the world outside of my community, which was an amazing thing to see. And in that time when I was in middle school, I remember my first experience kind of with racism. And one of the things that I experienced was I was in gym one day, and somebody peed on my clothes, my change clothes, because you had gym clothes and then you had your regular clothes and whatnot. Somebody peed on my clothes, right? And I couldn't figure out, why somebody would do that or whatever. And somebody came to me and was like, yeah, the same thing happened to me. And then it was another person, and I started to see a trend, and the trend was I was Black. So that was my kind of first realization, because I always wondered, like, what would I do if somebody was to call me an N-word? I remember specifically being at the bus stop one day, and this bum was walking down the street. I want to say bum, I'll say homeless man. And he asked me for some money, and I said I didn't have any money. I'm in middle school, I don't have money. And he called me the N-word. And I was so taken aback, because I had said in my head, if I ever was called this word, I would definitely throw hands and hurt this person. But in that moment, I found myself bewildered, like shocked that it actually happened. And so as I think back of my time in middle school, out of all of the goodness that and all the friends, and I played middle school basketball. We couldn't play. I think they didn't let 6th and 7th graders play. You had to wait till you was like an 8th grader. And so my 8th grade year, me and this other guy, we decided to go out, and man, we were like rock stars at that school. So, from experiencing those things when I was in the 6th and 7th grade, and just kind of being like disrespected, to being like uplifted my 8th grade year, and just, we had popularity. The girls loved us. We were popular when we, days before the game would happen. It was just crazy, because people was like, what you gonna do today? And the amount of awards I won in middle school, it was crazy. And I just knew I was destined for the NBA. But I didn't make it, as you can see, because God had another plan. It was going to put me on another platform to where I was going to be able to succeed, not as an NBA player or NFL player, but I'm going to tell you that later. So stay tuned. So then I went on to high school, and went to Austin East High School, predominantly Black, pretty much all predominantly Black high school in Knoxville, Tennessee, or East Tennessee or whatnot. And I went there because all of my brothers and sisters graduated from Austin East. So it was only right that Kendrick Tate go to Austin East. Went to Austin East, had wonderful experiences. I was with my people, and Austin East was one of those schools that everybody hated, but everybody wanted to go to. It was always said it was bad, and we had a lot of gang violence. And just to put it in perspective, I'm gonna tell you how bad Austin East was. Like right across the street was a funeral home, right? And so a lot of times our classmates would be killed and we would be re-traumatized because as soon as we come out of school, we looking at the funeral home where our classmates are resting. So that whole trauma right there was just, we didn't even understand trauma at that time the way we understand it now, but we were traumatizing ourselves on a day-to-day basis and didn't even know it in the sense when we lost our friends or whatever. And there was a lot of gang violence at Austin East. And even at Austin East, I was still able to steer away from being in those gangs. And I just wanted to be somebody who was cool with everybody. I wanted to respect everybody. And I wanted the same in part. And so I kind of got that by just respecting everybody. Even the gang members felt the same way. And high school was a beautiful experience. The main thing that I regret out of high school is I didn't get to play my senior year. There was an age verification. I got held back 1 year, and then I started school late. So my senior year, it was gonna be my time to shine. I was ineligible to play, and so that right there really hurt me. And but it also prepared me for life moving forward. So that's kind of my story growing up as a young man. And y'all, stay tuned because there's so much more. So that brings me to where I am today. I can honestly say that life has been good to me, and God has been, oh my God, I can't even put it in words what God has done for me in my life. And I'm just sitting here thinking about what he's done, man. It makes me want to get happy, but I ain't gonna get happy. I'm gonna praise him because he's been too good. So currently right now I'm a father of two beautiful young girls. One of them is 21. Her name is Lara. Kyla just turned 16. I have two kings. Preston, he just turned 15. And then I have a newbie. I know I don't look it, but you know what I mean? Yes, I am. Let me go back. I am 47 years old, or should I say years young. And I have an infant too. Yeah, he is 13 months and he is Kyson. Look, COVID baby, unexpected, but hey, these things happen. And I am engaged to a beautiful woman, Danielle Moore. And so we hope to be getting married hopefully within the next year or so. And I do have a plus one. She has a daughter. Her name is Neviana. And so basically I got 3 daughters and 2 sons. So you asked the question, what am I doing today? Well, today I am a juvenile probation officer. Yes, I am currently working with at-risk youth. I'm also a game changer. And this is a program through the YWCA. We focus on educating middle school boys about sexual assault, domestic violence, consent, healthy, unhealthy relationships, and things of that sort. And so we also teach them bystander intervention and how to intervene when it's safe. And so these 2 programs that I'm currently affiliated with and working, I love them from the standpoint I get to talk to young men across this state and in my community about how to be better men. And see what I'm doing, which I never saw myself doing. I never said I would work with at-risk youth. I never said that I would, these are things that was not in the plans. Like I said before, I was hoping to go to the NBA, but that never came to fruition. God had a bigger plan, and this bigger plan consisted of changing people's lives. And so that's what I have dedicated my life to. it's a gift. You know, everybody can't work with young people, and I'm not bragging or anything, but it's just a bold truth. Everybody can't work with youth in this capacity. It takes a special individual. So shout out to all my social workers out there, that especially those that are working with the youth, because you know that takes on a whole nother connotation of of patience, of want to, you know, because we got our own issues ourselves. Our kids have their own issues, and so now we taking on those particular family issues and trying to figure out and come up plans for them. And so the beautiful thing about my job is seeing kids come in when they pick up charges and they be in the worst state. And I'm not going, you know, sugarcoat this from the standpoint that, you know, I work with kids from charges that stem from cigarettes at school to, man, first, second, third degree murders. I've had kids on my caseload that have died. I've attended funerals of my kids that have died. You know, I went to court proceedings of kids that have committed, like I said, first degree murder. So when we talk about juvenile court, we're talking about like all aspects, you know, that you deal with. And you build rapport with these young men and women. And you become that mentor, you become that brother, you become that father figure, because a lot of especially our men of color, or they don't have fathers. And so you find yourself standing in that gap to be their father, and you take on that. And those are things that, you know, you don't think about when you're actually doing this work, but you are. And so I've taken it personally to make sure that these young men and young women get what they need. And let me go back to Game Changers a little bit. Being in these settings with these young men and talking to them about why it's important to respect and protect our women and girls is very, very serious. And it is very, very important, because especially not and we referring to all women, but especially our black women, we got to learn to protect. Because if you look at it, when we look at music, when we look at commercials, and we look at some of these things, they're sending subliminal messages that women don't matter. So our job is to cut down and, you know, navigate through all of that and teach our young men that, you know, women are important, and it shouldn't matter whether you know them or not. You know, we got special things that we teach them on how to intervene. And it doesn't have to, when you intervene, you don't have to intervene physically. Sometimes it's just removing the potential victim out of that situation. So from that standpoint, I love Game Changers, because it actually saved my career. Because like I said before, there's a lot of weight when you are a probation officer, because you carry those worries of your kids and your families on your caseload. And so I needed to be re-energized, and being affiliated with the YWCA, and I'm so happy they allowed me to be the senior mentor coordinator for that for the program, and basically made me the face of the program, because it renewed my energy and it helped me to get to where I am today, especially when it comes to youth. So I will be forever grateful to the YWCA. So y'all make sure y'all go look that up, Game Changers. It's the YWCA Game Changers mentoring program. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. But I will say that my career has been amazing. I look back and I see kids that I've worked with 20 years ago. Mr. Tate come up to me at the mall, at the store, and be like, Mr. Tate, hey man, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for locking me up. You know, thank you for helping me and being a father figure. I mean, there's no amount of paycheck, there's no amount of money that you can give me, and I'm still cool with these young men that, you know, that I had to lock up or put in state's custody years after years. And so I'm just thinking about when I was in college and I was trying to figure out, you know, what I wanted to do with my life and all the things that, you know, that was in front of me and where I was going to go. And I was able to go to the University of Tennessee and get my sociology, bachelor's in sociology degree, you know, being the first one in my family to actually graduate with a college degree. And then I wanted to take it a step further. I wanted to go to Capella University and went there and got my master's degree in criminal justice. And I'm not saying all that to brag. I'm saying that all of that to let other young people know, and other people who may be in my same situation, it's possible. Yes, there are barriers. Systemic racism is a thing. It is real. But that does not mean that you can't overcome those barriers. And I tell you, by the grace of God, I'm fortunate enough to be sitting here telling you my story, because I could be in prison. I could be one of those numbers. I could be one of those young men out here committing crimes and terrorizing neighborhoods. But that's not my story. My story is one that had to work for everything that he got. My story is I had to hustle and grind for everything that I got. My story is I said I will not, you hear me? I said I will not fail, because I owe it to the people that paved the way. Now, if that don't put chills in your bones, I don't know what will. Because I come from a place of realness and authenticity, and I will not take no for an answer. Success is success, and it must be earned. And it ain't nothing in this world that can stop you. Yes, we have things, because we got to read 2 books today, 1, right? But that don't stop us, right? Because, like I said, our ancestors didn't die for nothing. We owe them this. So I just wanted to tell you all that anything is possible. I have been blessed. I have been given a platform. And who am I not to deliver to the people that need help? That is my goal. That is my passion. It will not change, and it cannot change, because there are people that actually are depending on me. And that is my story. Who am I, America? I am Kendrick Dion Tate. Mother, Rosella Tate. Father, Harold Tate. I am a probation officer with Knox County Juvenile Court and a game changer with the YWCA. This has been my story. I hope and pray that it will not fall on deaf ears. And just know, you can be the change, but you can't change anything unless you take that first step. I took my first step years ago, and look where I am today. It won't be easy. It will be difficult. And there are going to be some dark days, but just know those dark days won't last forever. And that sunlight is on the other side. And once you step into the light, there's no going back, because only you can stop you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay blessed.
Don't ever and ever be worried of the things you can't control. If you see it coming, let it come. The fight is not yours. All you got to do is to build up your strength in union with the Lord and by means of His mighty power.
You're feeling broken down. The trouble's coming down on you. It's been coming, knocking you down, 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 down. I wanna tell you there's a God for you. He's coming to raise you up right now. The problems, the troubles will all be solved right now. I know you've been passing through these trials, the forest that hard for you. But I wanna tell you, it's gonna be good for you. promise that when the sun goes down, he'll be there for you. Through the valley of death, through sound I feel. When confusion surrounds you, set strong is God to back in the forest all on dark nights. All friends gone. Just be still for his time. Hold on when the strong wind blows by. Thunder and lightning scary good. I know you've been passing through the trials from not so hard for you. But I wanna tell you, be careful of these eyes. Perfect fire. Gotta be good, gotta be good, gotta be good, yeah. Gotta be good, gotta be good, gotta be good, yeah. Gotta be perfect no matter what you trouble with. Gotta be good, gotta be good, gotta be good, yeah. I'm telling you, it's gotta be perfect. Perfect, perfect, gotta be perfect, perfect, yeah. Perfect, 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 perfect. Gotta be good no matter what you're facing right now. Gotta be good. Gotta be good. So push on, yeah. Move on, move on, move on, move on.
Jesus, that my life, music, that my face life. Me and music don't matter when I'm 6 years old. We cut for 5 years, so I was told. But my mama, she raised me up, said if you do it in good song, don't give it up. Me and my first wife hit the stage in 94. Professionally we hard, I came my soul, but they didn't conquer. People suggest divorce if you no blessing the game, then it must be cause I know them anything I only God trust, and I go stay with the game whether I good or was. But with the power from above, where they call with love. Now better I the see as I speak the word. Cause everything for this life start from spiritual. It'll take time, manifest or physical. You are the control to help you controller. You said get your first wife, check her balance. Love your belly, yeah. Jesus, now my life, music, now my face life. Love your belly, don't be manga, yeah. Jesus, now my life, music, now my face life. Hello people, what's going on? This is not your brother and I'm ready to